welcome back to Season 5. This is Round 7 from Austin in Texas. We are getting down to the business end of the season in this season of the Aussie Racing League. The longer the season goes on, the tougher the championships become. Let's take a look at the track layout for today's experiment. 5.5 kilometres in length, 20 turns, 2 DRS zones, big braking areas, the chance to rejuvenate your ERS should be an absolute thriller. Let's take you off to your commentary team.
So no Mercy tonight. We're going to have one less Mercedes.
Oh, wait, we're live. Sorry.
I'm just checking who's not driving tonight.
Oh no, that's fair enough.
Yeah, we got no Nap, no Catino.
Oh, sorry.
All right, yeah, sorry. You go ahead. Sorry, I didn't know.
No, it's right. So we've got quite a few people missed, haven't we? That's a surprise. Yeah. Oh, g'day everyone. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We had the MotoGP Grand Prix on, but that's irrelevant for tonight, isn't it? It's time for another week of the ARL, and tonight we're on the edge of go time now. It's the second last round of the season. We're here at Circuit of the Americas in Texas. I nearly said in Kota. That would have been hilarious. And now, yes, business end of the championship now. Kufu Cowboy still has the lead in the championship, but thanks to a victory for VK in the main race last week in Suzuka, it's now down to just 6 points between the two of them. And Snoop is right there with them too, tied for second with VK. Now, I did crack out the abacus before we got started. If Cowboy wins the race tonight, he will take home the championship if VK and Snoop finish 8th or below. So, far from concluded, still a chance, but it's very far out. I'm joined by Apex tonight. How you going?
Yeah, not bad. Always good to watch the Prodigy guys drive around, always trying to get back into the novice division. But yeah, as you said, very tight championship battle at the moment. We have got Kufu Cowboy, who is trying to claim a championship tonight. Do you think he can do it, or do you think VK or Snoopaloop will try their hardest to get up there?
Ooh, it's hard for me to guess. I don't want to guess, but I kind of got to. It's going to be very close regardless. VK will probably be coming into this round with a fair bit of confidence. I think it's safe to say, but I know throughout the twisty tracks, which I feel like this track very much is, it's certainly been a forte of Kufu Cowboy, and he's shown a lot of solid form, and that's how he's found himself with the lead of the championship at this point. And of course, also worth mentioning that Mercedes have the championship lead in the constructors or the teams championship right now. Their chance of taking it home tonight is a fair bit more plausible. They currently have a 34-point lead over. Oh goodness me, I've forgotten. Is it Alfa Romeo or Ferrari? I believe it's Ferrari. And so yeah, if both of those cars come strong during this race, both perform very well, they could take that too. But I'm afraid I've just completely rambled on for a minute and haven't answered your question.
Yeah, completely waffled. But I get what you mean. Yeah, it's a very close championship fight at the moment. As we had Zilla, our first people to leave their pit box, so he will be the first to start their lap. As I do think one of the AlphaTauris has just spun. I'm pretty sure it was Samario. So not a great start for him, but hopefully he hasn't cooked those tires. But yeah, we've got a few people staying in the pits. A few more people are leaving now, such as Recon, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is Snoopaloop and Hazahawk. But yeah, so a few people leaving. Zilla is about to start his lap. So yeah.
Yeah, the tension's building. Again, this is one of those tracks where it seems so tricky to get a rhythm around it. I mean, so very few corners feel very similar to one another. Quite a lot of low-speed corners where you get into the bottom of second gear. Not a lot of tracks have that. And of course, you have that massive 41-meter rise heading into turn 1. And it's a bit of a blind entry into the corner as well, as we see Zilla go through it fairly expertly for now on his first flyer. He's going to lead the pack through. And so, yeah, I don't know, what are your thoughts on this place? Because it's a bit of a labyrinth to me.
It's all right. I always like coming here sometimes, but with new revamp to the track in this game, with more rubble chips, as we do see Zilla has actually been held up a bit there. Had to lift from the Red Bull. If I'm not mistaken, it might be, is it Free Slim Shady? Hopefully that didn't cost him any time. But yeah, with the new curbs being added, with the sausage curbs and the whole of Sector 1 pretty much being redone, this track, always we have a, sorry for going off track, we do have a yellow flag in sector 1, so I think that was just someone letting pass on. As I do think it's actually Aston Martin.
It is Siphon.
It is Siphon, and he has spun.
Yeah, getting a couple of little spins here and there. I believe we've had a McLaren go around just before as well. I believe that would have been Philly. Again, yeah, it's just... Yeah, carry on.
But as you said, yeah, this track, very big changes for this game, and plus these cars being a little bit more sensitive to the curbs. So yeah, it's a good place. Not my favourite on the calendar, but it might be a few others. As we see Zilla coming through the final corner to start his lap out. Let's see what the benchmarker is for today.
Yeah, and here he goes. It looks like it's going to be a 35.991. Healthy start, but we'll see it drop. See Belladat come through. Slightly off. Skipper coming through as well. And sending some early bankers. There's actually close proximity between those two right now. Conrad comes through 0.3 quicker. So yeah, we'll see how these drop down as the field comes through. Again, yeah, just a banker lap for now. This track depends on how sweaty you've been with the time trials, of course. Speak of the devil, here comes Nico.
By 9 tenths exactly. Wow, what a lap from Nico there to start us out. That was a stunning lap.
That is pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, just for your first flyer, it's pretty good form. He's done quite a few time trial, it looks like. Lots of few time trial laps and showing off in style. See a couple more yellow flags coming out every now and then. Par for the course. You see our man Snoopaloop. That HK Racing coaching going very well, I see. Going through the grass in the Merce sector.
Oh, he nearly invalidated there. I'm surprised he didn't actually, as he's got an alpha, as we've got a, Cappy nearly invalidated as he's on a lap right now, closing up on, I think that is Mario. I think I'm just going to call him Marina, C Marina. But as he actually spins there. Little
loop there. Yeah, tiny bit too much pressure on the throttle. It's a lot of heavy traction zones on this track. You got to discipline your throttle. It's your right foot. It's a tricky one. This I find that it's very tricky to get into a rhythm, especially when you have that disparity between that really fast flowing, quick left and rights, and then you follow that up with a hairpin and a long straight, and then just tight, slow speed switchbacks. It can be very, again, tricky to get into a rhythm around this place.
Yeah, and it's very tricky to make overtakes as well. We might be seeing a few bits of carbon fibre flying around the first laps as we have a spin. If I'm not mistaken, that might be Recon. Yes, it is. So Recon seems to front as there we go. SV goes up to the top. Up to second actually. Very far off from Nico, 5 tenths. So that must have been an absolute astounding lap. So yeah, very good lap from Nico there. But as I was saying, very tricky to make overtakes around here. Turn 1, you've got those sausage curbs off to the right, and same as the corner that Recon is going into at the moment. I wouldn't want to call that a hairpin, but it's a very sharp angled left corner, and it's very tricky in this year's game. But yeah, this is going to be a very tricky race for these races, as this is one of our oars. I think Recon might be suffering some wheel problems just veering off the track.
May have. That was an odd line to take through there, certainly, if it were intentional.
I did think that maybe his wheel disconnected or something, but hopefully the man that sells wheels doesn't have a bad wheel.
Yeah. We'll put it down to a gust of wind for now.
Yeah.
There he goes. He's coming around now to set he's well off on this lap. I've completely failed to see that he's ghosting. So we see who else is on the flyer right now. Let's have a quick look, shall we?
Philly, he might be on in lap, as we have a lot more people actually going. Oh, it's Schmuck. Nearly hit Recon there. That was pretty what's the word? Close, as Nico as well is coming out for a second lap, so wanting to improve.
Yeah, it looks like Jill slightly backing up. They want to give themselves or give each other a little bit of fresh air to play with.
I think someone's. There's a McLaren that just drove backwards into the pits. Philly must have missed
that one.
Yeah.
Yep, fair enough. Easily done around this track. Catches you off guard in that quick run from turns 19 to 20. Now let's have a quick look now. And I've going around the final corner now. I believe that would be Cappy coming around now.
Do you think? Recon has aborted his lap, by the way, and is letting the people go through.
Yep. Now Cappy's just come through for a 35.9. So
Good lap
a little
from
bit
Cappy.
off the front, but yeah, absolutely a good lap. Because it has him at the minute a fair distance up the field, up in P5, so he'll be fairly chuffed with that. We have a quick look now. Coming through the beginning of the third sector now, we have Nico on an out lap now. Of course, he's the danger man at the minute. He's just chucked on he hasn't chucked on a new set of tyres. He's just getting ready for a second flyer. We'll see if he cuts that down, because right now his lead is already pretty comfortable, particularly for qualifying standards.
Yeah, being well over 5 temps in front of the person behind you. My honest opinion, he could do 2 runs. People are going to push and try beat that time or get closer to it. But he could just go out again, and maybe that time is even better for even pole position. But yeah, Cooper Cowboy off the pace today, 1.1 seconds off pole, our championship leader. So as one of the McLarens, if I'm not mistaken, that might have been Philly. Got out of the way of Nico, who's now on a flying lap.
Well, yep, let's have a quick look at him now. We'll have a quick jump on board with him. We'll see what lines he's taking, because they're working well for him right now. He's up by 700ths on his previous lap, so good start for him at the minute. Trying to flick from the right to the left, losing as little speed as possible. Grab a neat apex, as you do. Siphon's just jumped up into P2 with a 34.9. That's getting much closer to Nico's time now. Again, everyone's starting to wind it up.
Lovely lap there from Siphon.
Absolutely. Let's quickly cut back as he goes down the back straight for Nico. Going down the back straight, DRS open. Using as much ERS as he can. Not that he can choose to. Of course, in quali trim. Hits that apex beautifully. Brakes later than I probably could.
Purple right now. He's up on his time. You see he's in control of that car. He brakes heavy into this double kink corner. Hits the apex lovely there. Very nice on the traction heading into the Rosberg corner, as I like to call it. Doesn't take the shorter line. Yes, he does.
There we go. Keeps it nice and tight. He's done very well there. Maybe running a fair bit of wing.
This is going to be an awesome lap. It already invalidates on the second last corner.
Did he invalidate? I did not see
Yeah.
that, but I did see him go over all wheels over the curb. He's going to come across the line, and that lap is not going to count. Bit of a shame. I'll collect himself for the next one.
He might need to sprint back to the pit lane, chuck on a new set of softs and all that. With 7 minutes remaining, he needs to recharge his battery, because I don't think he would. Because I can see by the little, I can see right now with my telemetry that he's only got 29% battery, and that, yeah, you can see he's lifted off. He's trying to regain his battery. As I was like to mention, by the way, Zilla goes on to P6 on his first appearance. Awesome job there from a new guy who's
fantastic run, yeah.
Is he going to get in the way of Belladat right now? No, he pulls his side. So, as Belladat completely misses the turn in for the corner.
We have to look, have to recalibrate for that one.
Yeah.
It's a blind entry. It's very easily done. My consistency around that corner when I play this is shocking.
Yeah.
So no hard feelings for him.
With my camera angles, it's like I have what's it called? My all the drivers, like what position I am, right on the apex here. This is like the worst strat for my camera angles. So yeah, very true.
Oh, I know. There's so many. Again, with all these really tight, narrow apex corners, it's just everything's at such a weird sort of angle. It's hard to get your head around the first few times you run around here. See where
I feel like this track design, they let a toddler try and draw a track, and it's just made as many 90-degree corners as possible.
Does a little bit. The third sector does look a bit like someone's testing a pen for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, the last part, we've got a spin. It's an Alfa Romeo. Oh, has it
been Zvit? Would be Zvit. He's the only Alpha here, of course. Little spin on a hot lap, so he's going to have to collect himself for another go. Will he want to chuck on a new set of softs, because they'll be red hot after that? Let's have a look. Nico's in the pits. I'll just have a quick look at Snoop. Of course, tied for second in the championship. Right now, he wouldn't have it on count back as Zvit has 2 race wins, but regardless, he hasn't been able to set himself a lap yet. So, curious to see where he ends up. We'll see him as he comes through the middle sector at the end of this back straight. I want to see just how far off he is, or even if he's purple. I didn't catch his first sector. We also have Cuckoo Cowboy right behind him as well, of course. So a little bit of spying on the arrivals. We go 3.8. Not quite sure what the interval is on that. The math isn't that good. Cuckoo, of course, he's not on a hot lap. No. Oh, Snoopaloo goes
it's reached
round.
in.
This track does not seem to be agreeing with him at the minute.
Just gets out of the way of Kufu Cowboy. He is on a fly that may have... Yep, and he is avoiding his lap.
Yeah,
That seems
absolutely.
good for me.
Not going to play for Snoop. He's only got just over 4 minutes to set in a banker. He's going to come in, chuck on a new set of tyres. It looks like his last set. It will look like and runs. Slightly misses the entrance. That's not good. So yeah, this track definitely not agreeing with him right now. So
This track only agreeing with pretty much Nico and Siphon, as everyone else is so far off the pace. As we do see Spit go back out. He is the first. How long have we got left? 3 minutes 58.
absolutely 4 minutes to go. So you're looking at, if you're right, you're looking at probably 2 more hot laps max. But generally, you don't really tend to go for more than 1 in a row. So let's have a look now. We've got Zilla coming through the final sector now through the long sweeping turn 17 and 18. We'll see what his time is coming across now. Looks like it's going to be close for him if he can improve. He may be slightly off here as he comes through, and in fact he's coming into the pits, so you can ignore me on that one.
Zilla
And he's almost
definitely-
run off into the pits as well. There's a pit lane that catches you out properly, doesn't it?
Yeah, as I was like to mention, by the way, Nico is about to start his flying lap. I think he's gone out for 2 runs actually, because he might be on old softs. Will he be coming in at the end of this lap?
He certainly is. He's done 1 lap on these tyres now. He's going to come through to complete his. He's going to do his flyer on his 2nd lap on these sets.
There is an Aston in the way, by the way, which is Azar, so that might actually ruin his run. As another Aston is entering, that is Siphon.
And as has gone round, but he's ghosted, so Nico gets a bit of a jail-free card out of that one. Get out of jail-free card, I should say.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to mention, by the way, Svit is on a lap right now, but it seems to have aborted due to the fact he might have messed it up earlier in the lap. Just gets out of the way of, I think that was Skipper. But,
it certainly is.
Yeah.
Now, he's himself on a flyer.
Nico is on a flyer at the moment. Snoopaloo on an out lap. Hopefully he can get a lap in, but yeah. Nico is absolutely pushing. I think he'll get a 34.4 if he keeps the way up, as I think Azza has spun again.
Yep, here we go. Skipper's come through for a 35.5. He's now rounding out the beginning of the 3rd row with Conrad with his teammate just in front of him. So good placing for Alpine at the minute. Cheeky bit of teamwork off the line we may see if results stay the same. Let's have a look. Now coming through sector 2 now, Nico is up by 800ths. So things are looking good for him now.
He is purple, so he is fine.
Absolutely, just seen come through this first double right, then the double left. Gets that apex nice and late, straightens it up early. Carrying the speed now. Very, very good form at the minute.
He's driving very nice.
Absolutely. Holding right up against the 2nd apex. That car is turning on rails at the minute.
He's a lot more cautious through turn 19 there, trying to not invalidate like he did last time. Goes to turn 20, comes across the line. Get 134.1. What a lap.
That was mighty speedy, if I say so myself. So it's going to take some proper hot laps to compete with that. Siphon's going to come across the line, not going to improve unless I completely missed that wasn't an out lap. That was an out lap.
It was an out lap. He came out in front of Nico.
You're right, I completely missed. Well, let's have a look at any other hot laps now. Let's have a look at our other title contenders. We have Kufu Cowboy. He is backed off. I don't know if he's going to be able to complete another lap now. He's backed right off.
Out lap. Skipper is also done for today. He's coming back into the pits.
He is too. Freed Slim Shady jumps up into 6th with a 35.6.
Lovely lap there from Free Slim Shady.
Absolutely. Now let's have a quick look. We've got Snoop as well. He's on his last go at a flyer. This is his last chance. He hasn't set one yet. So the pressure is absolutely on for him at the minute.
Hopefully Snoop can actually get a lap in.
Absolutely.
Seems to be struggling on the brakes here, a bit locking up a tiny bit.
Yeah, he's pushing as hard as he can.
Zilla doesn't seem to improve. Oh, Zilla is actually going on a hot lap right now, sorry. I think Kufu Cowboy is also on. Oh, Kufu Cowboy is on a lap, but as he gets to the line, can he make it? And that, yeah, he did. He made it with seconds to go. And qualifying is now over. So both the Alpines back in their pit boxes. They've got a comfortable, as we have got a yellow flag. It looks to be Belladat. So Belladat is off the track.
Now,
Snoop Luke now.
will that have an effect on Khufu Cowboy? Of course, laps don't get cancelled if you run through yellow flags, but you are supposed to slow down. I don't know how much the game cares about that, to be honest.
Yeah, I was like mentioning your boy Cappy doesn't improve, stays P9. Snoop Luke, the other Ferrari, goes into P2.
Now that is more like what we want to see from him, what he would want to see, and what HK would want to see as his engineer for tonight.
Yeah, massive jump there. And also Savit is on a lap right now. Will he be looking to try get on the front row, maybe even get into P3, but he's going to have to...
He's 3/10 up, so at the minute that would put him in P3 if it stays the same as he comes through the final corner now. Braking right on the mark. Here we go.
Sullivan doesn't improve. But Savit gets into P3 with a 134.7. Awesome
right
lap there.
From the end.
And now our championship leader is purple right now. He is pushing the absolute limits of that car. He comes around now into turn 17, now going into turn 18. Oh, he's a little bit squirrely on the exit here. Launching that car onto the apex here. He is pushing. What lap can he perform here?
He was a little bit wide on the apex of turn 18, but if he carries the speed, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. We got coming through the final corner now.
A little bit there, a bit wide, hits the rubble strips. He goes into P7. So not a very good lap for our championship leader, and now Recon aborts his lap.
Yeah.
And Belledat as well. So that is the end of qualifying.
There we go. So, a couple of big talking points here. One, Nico's red hot pace right now. He's taken pole by just shy of 4/10. So we'll look to see if he will. We'll see. He'll probably be fancying pulling away. If his race pace is anything like his quali pace, he'll be a force to be reckoned with. But as far as the championship, Snoop and Zvit have put Khufu on the back foot. He'll be in a bit of damage control mode going off the line here, with a handful of cars separating them now. So it'll be very close.
I do think we will be seeing a first lap safety car here, as turn 1 is very tricky to navigate around here. So I think we're just going to get confirmation as Recon is wheeled back into the pit.
I could not agree more, as I accidentally tabbed out. So, yeah, so again, tensions running high. And yeah, as I've said before, Cowboy is on the back foot. He has all the job to do ahead of him now as they head into the first lap, and chaos may ensue. Safety cars will breed safety cars, I'm sure. So if we have a quick look at the field spread right now, it's fairly solid throughout the field. The top 5 covered by just over a second. And then the field spread is, again, fairly even, about 7/10 separating the next 6. So not too much separating them. Again, with a track like this, though, it's, I don't know, lap times can feel a bit fluky around here. So race pace may not be too indicatively shown by quali pace, which is yet another shake-up for us to contend with. As we now get ready, it is race time. So feel free to chuck your race win predictions in chat. Certainly a fair few contenders in there. Nico looking like the red hot favourite right now. Again, if quali pace is to be assigned. But of course, the championship contenders right up his backside coming into turn 1, or coming off the line even, in the form of Zvit and Snoop.
As Mercy joins a little bit late, but
a little bit late.
So
will the game give him a spot on the grid?
No, we're not. It's too late.
Oh, dearing me. Or Mercy Hamilton.
The striker just says, get the popcorn. So we had the 5 red lights. And away we go. Nico gets a lovely start on the mediums. Snoopaloop bogs down a little bit, and Savit stays he actually gets a very good start on those hards. Now we head into turn 1. Will anyone be a little bit optimistic here? Savit goes a little bit wide. A few bit we do see an Alpha Tour in the back there. And we also see Siphon and Skipper going side by side through the S's here. Can they keep it clean? Siphon barges Skipper out the way, getting the elbows out on lap 1. We do see Azza and Free Slim Shady, who has dropped a few positions at the back there, going down to P13. And we do have Mercy, who has left. Sorry, I thought that was a retirement. A very clean getaway for everyone.
Yep, fairly well clean. Everyone gave each other a load of space going into turn 1. No one wanted to cause a first lap safety car, so well done to everybody for that.
Oh, we have got a spinner actually. It was C Mario. he seemed to have spun on a straight. So he's not going to be very happy about that. But as mentioned, the strategies have just been out, by the way. Medium runners will be boxing lap 12. Or Savit actually overtakes Snoopaloop there. Yeah, so Savit is up in the P2, and Snoopaloop wants to respond to this, trying to fight Savit as best as possible. Savit goes a bit wide. Snoopaloop gets the elbows out. They are going side by side here. Nico is pulling away as possible. These two, as Snoopaloop gets the better traction on those hards.
Fantastic runner moves between those two. Again, very, very, very good running from them. Giving each other space, but pushing each other to the limit. Snoopin is in the position now. He wants to hold up these medium runners right behind him.
Oh, and we've actually got a massive crash going through the S's. Sorry for cutting you off, by the way. There is a McLaren out, and I do think we will be getting a safety car here. As absolutely. I do believe it was the incident between Schmuck. There is Philly, who is off on the infield with one less tyre. It doesn't look like we'll be getting a safety car, as I mentioned, Svit has just dive bombed Snoopaloop and has got the overtake done.
The outside there? It was unbelievable.
I didn't actually see the overtake, but I was too busy watching it.
That was unreal. Speaking of unreal, Nico's margin, that squabbling between Svit and Snoop has not done them any favours in the case of catching Nico. He's already pulled out a gap of 2.7 seconds. Although coming through this first sector, Svit's pulled back a little bit, so now that he's freed from the shackles of Snoopaloop's hard tyres, we'll see what kind of gap he pulls. Of course, he'll be trying to... Sorry, yeah?
No, it's all good. Yeah, a few little overtakes there, by the way. I'd just like to mention, by the way, what's happening with Recon at the moment, who is actually an AI, so something must be going on with Recon, who is behind a McLaren, which I do think is Belladat. Yes, it is. So Recon is in P13 at the moment, but his AI seems to be freaking out, putting him in P17. But yeah, not a great start for the AlphaTauri guys, who have dropped back a few positions, by the way. But I'd like to mention, by the way, there's a lot of battles in the top 10 here. Skipper losing on a few people starting on the hards, a few people starting on the softs, and a few people starting on the mediums. So a lot of different strategies today, which will play out in the in the strategy game. But yeah, I'd just like to mention, by the way, our position change for lap 1. We have got between the top 5, only overtake was Svit on Snoopaloop, as we get Nico with a 1:37.7, setting the benchmarker for the pace. Lovely pace there. Skipper is up 2, Conrad down 1, your boy Cappy with a lovely start from P11, up in a P8, who looks to be on the back end of an Alpine at the moment. Kufu Cowboy, our championship leader, who has gone for the alternate strategy, down to P9, and Free Slim Shady, who has stayed P10. He has come back, and also Azza, a lovely start from him, going up 3 positions. Belladat as well, and Hazard.
Yeah, Azza's had a fantastic start, moved himself up nearly 3 rows from his starting position. Again, that may be by virtue of a few incidents going here and there.
Oh, Nico spun.
Nico's around.
So our race leader the pressure has cracked. He does a little bit of a dangerous re-entry there, trying to get out of the way of Skipper.
It seems fairly alright for now. He's gonna be all over him now. DRS is activated. We're sliding the rears. They'll be pretty hot after that spin.
Just like I mentioned, by the way, Savit must have backed out, by the way. There is a challenge for the lead at the moment. Snoopaloop doesn't look like to be challenging him at the moment, as he knows he doesn't want to waste his tyres, as he is on for the longer run. But Savit is now on the back end. Snoopaloop is now on the back end of Savit, as we get another yellow flag that seems to be Hazardhawk. Has spun, so Hazardhawk has spun and gone down into P15, so very unfortunate for Hazard, but yeah, very, very unlucky there for Nico, who seems to be already pulling away from Skipper, trying to make back those positions he's just lost.
Yep, he sure will be, and I mean, by the looks of his first 2 laps, he has the pace to do it. But it was weird, must have just been pushing a little bit too hard, because he wasn't under that much pressure as we go, we've got to spin for
your boy Cappy, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to check if he has any damage. It doesn't look like he does. Oh, Zilla actually gets past Siphon. Just like to mention, by the way, so Zilla, is Siphon lagging a bit there, actually?
A bit of lag, yeah.
As the 2 Alpine boys are fighting it right now, and I think Conrad has just dived down the inside of Skipper and has moved himself up into P6, so lovely work from Conrad there, as Kufu Cowboy also going up into P8, as due to the fact that Cappy has spun. So Cappy will be looking to try make back those positions. He's now right on the back end of Belladat, and he seems to be catching him by a rate of knots. So he will be looking to try and overtake on the back straight. Yeah, a few close battles at the moment, and especially for our race lead here. Those 2 are out in front by 2.5 seconds, and Snoopaloop now with the battery engaged, has turned it off, so looks to be trying to save here. Seems to be a little bit too far back.
He just wants to stick in the drafter now, because right now he's on the harder compound. He'll be trying to run those tyres a little bit longer, but if he can just sit in the toe of Zvit, make him do the donkey work out the front, and hopefully once the crossover point hits in these tyres, which I predict maybe around about lap 8 or 9, maybe lap 10, we may see whether or not he'll try to retaliate.
A little bit of lag there. It did show that Svit went a little bit wide there. Oh, it's weird. Zilla has spun. So Zilla is dropping down. He has dropped back to P6, it seems. So it seems to
just going to have him here.
Yep. So Snooper Luke now actually has dropped out of the DRS, so must have made a little mistake going into the turn 19 or 20 there. Is now out of DRS, and Siphon is now going to be under attack from the absolute fastest person on the track at the moment, Nico, who looks to be on a charge at the moment to try and get his crown, as Azza actually moves up into P9. So Azza as well has got an awesome pace at the moment, and looks to be on the back end now of Kofi Cowboy.
That puts him up. How many positions is that? Is that up 7 positions for him since the start of the race? He's doing great guns at the minute. Now, of course. Now, stuck in a sandwich right now, challenging our championship leader, who things aren't quite going as planned for him. Although that can be said for quite a lot of people here. I mean, we had a fairly clean first half of the first lap, and then all of a sudden, spins and all sorts going all over the place. And again, surprised we have no safety car in the form of Philly, but regardless, it seems like hopefully things will settle down a little bit more. People can sort out where their pace is, where they're looking to be.
While we're talking, by the way, Svit, our race leader, has made a bit of a mistake and has lost half a second to Snooper Loop, as he did go a bit wide, heading onto the corner onto the straight. So those two seem to be just trying to pull away from Siphon and Nico, who doesn't seem to be able to dismember Siphon just yet. So just waiting for the perfect opportunity to overtake, and Zilla also trying to make back the positions when he spun. So not many battles going along at the moment. You can just see Svit is very much faster than Snooper Loop in the last sector due to that tyre advantage. But do you think Snooper Loop could be a favourite if he just stays? Because he is the only one in the top 5 who has run for the alternate strategy. Zilla gets given a 3-second time penalty. So not the first one we'll see today.
No, but on your point, yeah, I think Snooper's in a good position right now. We saw he got a very tidy P2 in quality. Nico's now having a dive. He's just going to run straight by like he's standing still. And Siphon cleans him up just before the braking zone. So yeah, again, he's on form. As far as the battle for the lead, again, this is bragging rights for P2 in the title heading into the final round. So, but at the minute, keeping only a second and a half behind, that is not too bad after 6 long laps on these with such a disparity in the tyres. Start to lose a bit more corner by corner, but or more so sector by sector. But I feel like at the minute the gap is okay. It's manageable.
We have got a yellow flag, by the way. Nico has spun and Zilla as well. So 2 people who have both spun out of the top 5 today have both actually spun again, and Azza moves up into P8. Go Azza, mate. But so Nico is just again spun. Do you think the pressure is getting to him? He's just cracked twice under pressure. Do you think he'll be a little bit slower?
I think he's just rushing himself a bit. He knows he's got the pace, and he's just trying to keep it going lap after lap after lap, making up for lost ground now. And yeah, it's just those tiny little mistakes. They're slightly pushing a bit too hard. Both of his spins have happened coming on the throttle off of slightly off cambered corners. And that that left-hander, turn 10 or turn 9, is infamous for that sort of stuff. And yeah, it seems like it's just caught him out a little bit too much time. He's a bit too aggressive on the right foot. He's got plenty of time though with his pace. Actually, he's got a fair bit of margin to make up now after that second spin. But again, if he paces himself, keeps his head straight, he can do it. I'm sure.
Yeah, I just do think that he is driving that car a little bit. He's being impatient with the car and trying to get more out of it than he can expect. You can see he has made a few incidents at the moment. As also I'd like to mention, by the way, Azza now on the DRS will really try to have a look into turn 1. Seems to not have... He's only 3 temps, but seems to just back out of it. But yeah, Nico is trying to get more out of that car than expected. And he's making mistakes at that one corner where Vettel blew his suspension out. I don't know what... number it is, but yeah, like I mentioned, by the way, Kufu Cowboy and Skipper both on the hards, so we've got more hard runners in the top 5. You just see Kufu Cowboy is a lot more quicker than Skipper. Seems to be in the DRS now, but Skipper has got a lot more battery as Kufu Cowboy is now down to 16 after using a bit. Like I mentioned, by the way, Snooper Loop's tyres seem to be coming alive now, or just seems to be better through that corner. Now the gap is down to 1 second, but not any overtakes going along right now. We have got another yellow flag. It seems to be Recon.
Seems like he's looped it.
He's taken the short layout.
Oh, he's taking the supercars layout. I can't blame him. Fantastic chicane there. Now, if we have a look here. Now, this has actually got, these last couple of incidents in the case of Zilla and Nico, this has worked all right for Kufu. Now he's up into P6. As things stand, he would still lose the championship lead. I haven't done them. I want to get a pen and paper out, do some quick math.
Let me get my
like right now.
Let me get my calculator. I got this.
Beauty. Now. So we have 25 points right now on part for Zvit. Oh, actually, something's going wrong up the front because Snoop suddenly lost 8/10 in the last half of that lap. So maybe a little bust up here and there. He should be okay though. Again, well, 21 more laps to go. So yeah, more than enough time to collect yourself as Nico will be trying to learn right now. In fact, he's absolutely on the march for doing that. He's gained all of that gap that Kufu had over him. Just in one lap, he's now right on him. So, bust-ups breed bust-ups. We'll see what goes on into this. I'm expecting coming onto the end of the back straight, we may get a little bit of chaos here as they're all, again, pushing to get past each other.
Yeah, at this point, VK will be on 102 points heading into the final round. And where is Kufu Cowboy at the moment?
He's in P6, which I believe, if my memory serves, 8 points, absolutely. So
he will be 11 points behind heading into the final race if the results change. But you've got to remember, there is 21 laps to go. Anything can happen, but BK has been on it all day. And not to factor out that also Siphon is only 6 points behind as Kufu Cowboy. There's actually a massive battle at the moment.
It's kicking off here for V5. Nico goes around the outside of Kufu. Kufu went up the inside but backed out of it a little bit. Didn't want to risk breaking an end plate. And Nico's taken full advantage of it. He's now going to jump through now. Is he going to try and go around the outside of Skipper? They touch a little bit of dust kicked up between them, but it doesn't look like any damage, luckily, for both of them.
Yeah, just like I mentioned about the Kufu Cowboy, look at that run. Oh, it nearly goes for a move into turn 19 as Nico has a massive snap off the rears here. This is a three-way fight here, and also I'm fighting Azza, the GOAT, behind, but also Nico now. DRS and ERS. Skipper seems to not try and defend this one, as I think he's just a sitting duck there. As Nico goes down the inside, will Kufu Cowboy try to get through there? No, he doesn't. But Nico's going to try and make the most out of the mediums. As you got to remember, he is on the alternate strategy, as those hard runners are boxing onto the better tyre on their next stop. But now Kufu Cowboy has dropped down another position.
He sure has, and now that would bring him down to 6 points for this race, which would make it a 13-point gap to Zvit. Now, at the minute, of course, if the race ended like this, Snoop would only be 7 points back. Yep, he's now within DRS range. Good point. He's now closing in. So that shows the crossover point in tyres looks like it's come now, because he's pulled back a second on him in the last 2 laps.
So, sorry for cutting you off, by the way, but yeah, just like to mention that the leaders are now closing in on each other. It seems to be that Svit struggles in that middle sector and last sector the most. Oh, sorry, not the last sector, the first sector, but the last sector is very quick in. But yeah, it seems to be that those mediums are not very good at the moment. So it's just like to me, C. Marino seems to have been given a 3-second penalty. Like I said, also Schmuck and Hazahawk both running a 3-second. So yeah, those two are at the back together with Recon after his spin.
Yeah. This is one of those track limits penalties are very easy to come by, as you get with all circuits, where the longest circuit is lined with another nice grippy layer of tarmac. Very enticing as ever. And,
so Snoopy now back in the DRS. Only 7 attempts is the gap now. And with Svit has actually been conserving his ERS lovely, by the way.
So yeah, he's got 80% left.
Svit also, if he gets attacked, he's not going to really be under threat that much, because he's still got all that battery left.
Yeah, he'll have plenty of opportunity to defend, but at the same time, if you're in Snoop's position now, would you want to make a move before the pit stop and put yourself ahead, under the assumption that both of your pit stops take the exact same amount of time? But because in that case, of course, he'll be coming on with fresh air, on the softer tyre, and will he and hopefully to try and pull a gap before his tyres drop off at the end, in which case it will be right back on him again. It's a bit of a jumble up here.
Yeah, now the gap down to 4 tenths now. Seems to be that Savit has used a bit of his battery, and now they're in pretty much the exact same battery. But just like to mention, by the way, Siphon seems to be pushing on those mediums right now, and has brought the gap down to 3.3 seconds. So he is actually quite fast at the moment, same as Conrad. But Nico also now has got 1.1 seconds already on Conrad in the past 2 laps. Oh, Zilla and Az are actually fighting at the moment. Az is actually making an overtake on Zilla. Oh, and Zilla gets a switchback, but seems to have backed out a little bit.
Yeah, I feel he was worried. I think Az was going to cut back to an apex, and yeah, he didn't want to be right there when he went for it. So yeah, again, with a lot of these, with this track, you have about 3 or 4 different overtaking places.
Our championship leader as well.
That's Khufu. Yep. He's gone round.
Our championship leader has gone off,
and now he finds himself in 10th.
So it seems to be that this track is very spinny for people that like are fast here.
It sure is, and yeah, again, he's not in a good spot now. That's going to lose him 24 points on Svit if the race were to end now. Again, fair bit of time to go, but again, not where he wants to be right now. Not where he wants to be. There we go. We'll have another look at these top 2. Again, just line astern right now. No need to make any moves at the minute, it looks like. Although Snoop may be keen to. He is gaining little bits here and there. As we have yet another penalty for Hazahor. Again, this track not favouring the...
Just like I mentioned, by the way, at the start of the race, the Amazon strategy predictions come up. It was a bit of a lock-up there for Snoopaloo, but now he's on the tail of Spit. Lap 12 is for the medium runners, and lap 15 for the hard runners. Recon has retired. It seems to have been
on the
in
pits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azra and Zilla are going at it again.
Oh, yeah. Let's have a quick look at them. Oh, side by side again. A carbon copy of last lap, maybe. Is Zilla going to find the gap? No, not quite. He backs out of it once again. Again, doesn't want to get cleaned up on a late apex. So, again, he's going to run a nice wide line, try to straighten himself up as much as he can, but it's not quite going to work.
Very good driving from these two right now. They are
Absolutely.
He's actually going around the outside there.
That's a fantastic run.
With the more grip. And he gets the move done, actually.
He gets it done.
And sneakily, and he locks up, nearly goes into the wall there in the pits.
Very close. It's one of those corners, isn't it? The pit entry can catch you out. We saw it happen in quali. It's something, isn't it?
So a few people are now actually pitting for the undercut. As I like to mention, by the way, there is a Haas. Is that Zilla? No, I think it's Recon's retired.
Yeah, Recon's AI. He's left the session now. It looks like his AI's just gone out. So he may have come into the pits and retired, but for some reason the AI's taken over and kept him going.
Like I mentioned, by the way, I think Snooperlit will be looking to try and dismember Svit now. The gap is down to 3 tenths. Now using all of his battery. Now with the DRS. Now he's in the slipstream. Svit pulls to the left. He goes to the right. Will he try and get the overtake done going into this corner here? They're gonna both have to be trusting of each other. Snooperlit tries to go for the cutback, but it seems to be that Svit gets a better traction off that corner and still stays in first. So him now on those dead mediums, he's trying his absolute hardest to try and keep a raging Snooperlit by, who is now firing up on those hards.
Absolutely. Now, are we going to see Svit come in on this lap? Again, as per the AWS prediction, it will be this lap, presumably. And I feel like if I were in his position, he'd be busting to get off those. Is he going to move to the left? Absolutely, he does. He's going to pit in now. Potentially, of course, just 1 lap after Conrad and Azza both did it. So, yeah, again, matches the stats. So now we'll see where he's going to come out now. He may end up in a little bit of traffic now. Maybe may even come around Khufu. That'd be a tiny little bit of fireworks as he's on the fresh tyres.
Just like to mention, by the way, one of our viewers in the chat has mentioned that Khufu Cowboy has got his fuel light on, so he must have underfueled for this race and will be struggling to try get back. Yeah, his fuel light has come on.
Uh-oh, that is not good. You see, Nico's come in for his fresh set now. Where's Khufu coming out this? Svit actually came out comfortably ahead of Khufu. I miscalculated there, but now Nico's come in for his set of hards. now we'll see what his pace is like on those. A little bit of spin up, get some heat into those tyres, get them nice and early.
So yeah, now Snoopaloop now in the lead of the race. He seems to be in clean air. Now he seems to be draining a bit of battery to try get in front of Svit, who is now in clean air as well. It has got Free Slim Shady, who is on old hards with a little bit less battery. Sorry, I thought he had a bit more. As we have got a yellow flag. I think it's still... Oh, no, actually, it was Zilla on cold hards. Yep.
Yeah, again, not enough grip, too much ambition. Slightly catching him out, and around he went. I take it. Let's have a quick look.
Not many battles at the moment. We have got Conrad now in the DRS of Nico, who has got more battery, but it doesn't seem to be draining due to the fact that there's no point on battling, as I think they're both trying to undercut people. So working together
absolutely.
there, lovely work there. You can just see they're trying to help each other both out. But Siphon dives into the pits now. He is going for the overcut. Do you think he can get out in front of Svit? Who seems to be
doubt
about
it. There was a fair bit
seconds.
of a gap between them. Yeah, but again, we'll see where he comes. Of course, his main concern will be that of Skipper and Conrad, because those two are fairly close to him at the time of coming into the pits, or at the time where Conrad came into the pits at least.
So Siphon boxing onto the hard. Seems to be a lovely pit stop there. He seems to be coming out actually quite close to Svit. Can he come out in front of Free Slim Shady there? This is going to be very close into turn one. A very tricky angle here. Siphon positions his car, or gets pushed a little wide onto the rumble strips. Not a bit of room there, but you've got to remember that Siphon is on negative 200 degrees, quoted by the one and only Tiro Lenhus. But yes, Siphon on very cold tyres will be struggling through this sector one. Can Slim Shady try? Oh, it's Schmuck. It's given a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So the pit lane catching out another driver. Of course, it has to be an AlphaTauri. I'm now very sad.
Sure is.
Did Free Slim Shady spin? Yep.
Looks like a fantastic camera work from Codemasters there. You see him collecting himself now. Yep, so yeah, just on the edge of only a couple more laps on those tyres before he pitted. So he was in a good spot, but yeah, again, not where he wants to be now.
Very nice re-entry from him, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, somewhat. Let's see, Snoop now nice and comfy, got a 17-second lead, but of course that's against someone who is not of his concern. Who is of a concern? Right behind him in the case of Svit. 1.2 seconds now.
If you just want to, by the way, measure the SVT's lap times on the new hards.
Yeah, that's absolutely worth doing.
Because he is catching down Skipper very much. He seems to be struggling on those old hards at the moment. This does seem to be the lap that those hard runners will be boxing. Svit trying his absolute hardest to try and pass him. He is now only about 2 attempts.
He moves
Skipper
over.
now moves out.
That was a personal best from Svit.
So Skipper not using any ERS, lifting into turn one, so just trying to not ruin his own race. Didn't hold up Svit any much than he had to. Has cost himself a bit of time, but you can definitely tell that he is not in contention for the win of the race at the moment. So he's just trying his absolute hardest to try and get as many points as he can.
That battle wouldn't have been helpful to either of them. So you just concede, give yourself that little bit of time that you would have lost in the case of a battle, and focus ahead on where he will try to come out after his pit stop.
So this is going to be very close heading into turn one between Snoopaloop and Svit here. As you can see, Svit is closing down at about 4 attempts in the past 2 sectors there. So he is absolutely pacing it at the moment. So I just like to say this will be, if he gets, I think Snoop is going to react this lap. Seeing that Svit has got the better delta and has got the better tyres at the moment, do you think he'll react and box, or do you think he'll keep it out a little bit longer to get the fresher compound?
It's a tricky spot for Snoop right now because we've only just passed half race distance, and if he pits now, he's going to have to do 14 laps on a set of, or 13 laps on a set of mediums. So it looks like that's what he's going to go for now, coming into the pits. But those tyres are probably going to feel very, very ordinary by the end of that, by the end of the race. So he'll be covering himself to cover off time now. But what's that going to mean that he has to pay for in the last couple of laps?
You could definitely tell that he was going a little bit slower on that in lap, lifting through the double kink corner. So you could definitely see that Svit is going to jump him absolutely massively here, and I do think he will be held up in traffic. Oh, it's Siphon has a massive moment there. Where will Snoopaloop come out? It seems to be just behind. It might be Siphon here. Yeah, this is going to be close.
Siphon's going to have him, I reckon. Yeah, he will.
A little bit. So Snooper Loop has dropped back massively at the moment, but you could definitely see that the compound difference here is quite big, just like Singapore. So Snooper Loop will be one of the fastest drivers on track at the moment. As I just like to mention, by the way, Nico all over the rear of Kufu Cowboy at the moment through the Esters. This is a very, very important battle for the championship. If Nico can try and dismember Kufu Cowboy, who is in the lead right now, and help out Severe, who is also in the lead. Sorry, I didn't mean to, oh, we have a yellow flag. Sorry, I think that is
that may be
Marino.
Marino in the last corner. Yeah,
I didn't mean to. Kufu Cowboy isn't in the lead, sorry, but in front of Nico. He seems to have gotten the better exit there with ERS deployed.
He's in
Kufu Cowboy
now.
Doesn't look to be trying to fight this one, and moves his car back up into P5. He will be trying to push now to try and get past Siphon, Skipper, and Svir. As you can see, the tyre advantage from Snooper Loop will make him probably one of the fastest on the track at the moment. As already closing in on Siphon.
Absolutely, and but he's definitely lost a fair bit of ground compared to where he was in comparison to Svit coming into the pits. The undercut looks to have worked for those who ran hards and mediums in the first stint. Of course, right now the gap between Svit and Snoop is round about 8 seconds or thereabouts. So it's not about 7 seconds if I do my math right. Skipper's come into the pits. That's got rid of one obstacle that Snoop would have had to avoid, but of course he's on 16 lap old hards, I should say. So yeah,
the Skipper, Skipper definitely using the went a bit longer, but you can just see Snooper Loop was awesome on those brakes there, clipping the apex into turn one. I'm not faulting him on any corners he has been doing. You can see he's pushing like absolute hell at the moment. Already got the gap down to 1.1 seconds on Siphon. On the better compound, he looks to be trying to make a move on this back straight and trying to get this over and done with to chase down the race lead.
But he'd be hard pressed to do it, because we've seen so far with the DRS battles, you need to be comfortably within half a second of the car ahead to be able to make the dive. So
he didn't seem to be able to catch. Sorry, he didn't seem to be able to catch DRS this lap.
He will have.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did actually. Sorry.
And he's that was a good run as well. He got to 10th before they even got to the DRS board. So he's in a good spot now, and he'll be.
Will he try to have a look here?
Sector.
Siphon with the DRS advantage here, so I don't think that Snooper Loop will be trying to look for an overtake here. Siphon running about nearly 70%, and Snooper Loop running about 46%, but these two really need to get this over and done with. You see Snooper Loop looks to be trying to shake off an overtake here.
But again, we've seen,
just back. Yeah.
Again, as you've said throughout the night, this track is so tricky to overtake on, and anywhere that is at the end of a really long straight, it's sometimes not worth your while unless you just want to try and just take a different line to try and cool the front of your car down even. Coming through this final corner now, will he be close enough for a dive here? I don't know. It's good. The straight isn't quite as long. You don't build up the same amount of speed, but
we
we'll
have
see what
been
the slipstream does for him.
We have been seeing that better tyres are showing that Snooper Loop is better on the brakes here. He looks out to the left, but doesn't seem to go for an overtake. I'd like to mention, by the way, Kufu Cowboy has not pitted yet, so he is now onto the pits.
He is now. He's jumped in.
It looks like he'll be going down to around P7 actually, or near Azza most likely, but he will be on the better compound from Azza or Belladette, and it's also, like to mention, probably the faster driver we've seen today. But yes, Snooper Loop now 4 tenths now to Siphon, heading now onto the small little back straight. He will be trying to look to overtake for P2 and try chase down Svit, who now has stretched out his lead to 6 seconds. So he's now pushing massively to try get away from Snooper Loop, who is probably the fastest man on track right now. So draining his battery. He gets the DRS. He pulls to the right. He looks to be in front of Siphon already before the corner. And yep, that was an absolute easiest overtake of his life. And Siphon looks to be just trying to hold behind Snooper Loop, trying to DRS train. But yes, lovely overtake from Snooper Loop, moves into P2.
That's right. And now he has to eyes forward, chain these corners together lap after lap, and just don't make any mistakes. And when he crosses the line this time, he'll have 10 laps to gain 6 seconds. Not only that, of course, we've seen one thing to catch, another thing to pass. It'll be tricky for him. At the minute, I'll be honest, I have my doubts. But again, it'll all come out in the wash in 10 laps' time. Now, I want to do a quick Nico check. He's up into P4. Now going to himself some clean air as everyone around him's all come into pit. He has 3.6 seconds on Siphon. I'll monitor that over the next couple of laps to see what his pace is on these new tyres. But at the minute, it's looking like a race that could have been for him. If he hadn't had those couple of spins, we know where he'd be.
So yeah, 10 laps to go. The gap, 6.2 seconds for the top two. Smoothlever's got a bit of work to do, but also like to mention that he has already dealt with the hard, so he knows what pace he can get out of them, and once he starts to fire up those mediums, he will be the man who in my honest opinion, could look out to take the crown.
Absolutely. I'd love to see him do it. He's a great guy. I've spoken to him a few times, and yeah, fantastic guy. And of course, we'll have his boys in the Ferrari, I'll say pit for the sake of immersion, but in the Discord chat, just willing him on lap by lap. And yeah, so we'll see what he does. Hasn't made any big impressions so far on this lap at the end of the lizard line to us, but again, plenty of time, plenty of room for little mistakes here and there, and pace to reveal itself. Let's have a look now. Khufu, of course, now he's out on the fresh mediums. We'll see what times he pushes out now. He's got some moves to make. Sorry, in the face of it is Balladat, who still hasn't pitted yet. He's run those tyres for 18 laps now.
But he looks to be trying to push for a hard, soft strategy, a little bit different from everyone else. As Khufu Cowboy moves up into P7, he is on a charge at the moment, trying to not having the best of race for Mercedes today, only being down in P7, and probably, in my honest opinion, if we don't see a safety car, his best position he'll probably move into would be P6 in front of Skipper. But in my honest opinion, if we don't see everyone in the top 5 just absolutely crush it, as Nico is given a 3-second time penalty, doesn't look to affect him actually, as Conrad is very far behind, about 7 seconds, so that doesn't seem to be affecting him at any chance at all. But if he does overtake Siphon in the closing laps, that will affect him. But I'd like to mention, by the way, 5.4 seconds, 8 tenths in that past lap. Nick, this is getting tense.
That 8 tenths per lap, that will bring him to him. If he keeps that up for the rest of the race, he will be on him by the end of it. So
as Mike mentioned, by the way, Balladat is coming in. They look to be pulling up the red ring tyre, so he will be boxing onto the soft, so going for the more aggressive strategy. Do you think this will work out for him? Because it looks like he'll be very far away from points as Free Slim Shady going through turn 1.
Yeah, so it's worth the gamble.
I think the only driver fighting Balladat at the moment would be Cappy, but also Cappy will be on old hard, so in my honest opinion, these two are going to be yours. Balladat, lovely.
Just gives him the room there.
Yeah,
lovely. Doesn't want to cause a bust.
He knows he knows he can catch him down, so he's just going to let Cappy run off like a kid in a flower farm.
That's right. Now, what this will be a question of, I don't believe Balladat will be able to catch Free Slim Shady. He's got about 18 seconds to gain on him, but I don't know, for the sake of experiment, and I mean, this is something that I'm assuming those in higher divisions can just watch as a little bit of an experiment, yourself included, I'm sure, just to see if the softs could be worth it. I mean, we've seen that in very few cases this season where the soft tyre has actually yielded much of a benefit, especially as a late tyre to use in a race. But again, I don't know, is that generally something that you use to as a bit of reconnaissance for your races later on in the week?
I think many people do realise in the higher divisions such as Prodigy and Elite that the hard soft is not a good strategy in my opinion. If there is no safety car, you're basically just losing yourself time, as you just tell everyone there all wanting to win. We've got Zakov, Tazza, all the fast guys up there, always pushing out more time, and so the medium hard is just such a good strat as it stays with how comfortable they are. But you go on the hards, you're just gonna you have to go for around 20 laps. You're just dropping off pace every lap, and that's valuable time where you can get undercut, overcut. So many people just pick the box for the hard mediums. So the softs are a very rarely used tyre in high divisions, but mainly used only if there's a late safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw that happen a couple of times in Suzuka, didn't we? There were quite a few hectic battles that took place after a couple of safety cars there. But it looks like this race is, we've seen nothing of the sort in this race. Was a bit too early. A little bit of a whack between Balladat and Cappy going into turn 1. Did we get any damage out of that? It doesn't. Oh, might have just about got lucky between the two of them, yeah.
I do think that will be investigated after the session, though, as there was a bit of barging there, but it does look like Cappy has actually received damage there, but it seems to be that Balladat might be actually trying to give the position back. Yes, he is. It's a very nice there from Balladat, so I guess that just leaves out as I think. Has Balladat got damage? No, he doesn't. So I think Balladat got a little bit desperate there. Has cost himself valuable time. But as I'd like to mention, by the way, Zilla has just moved up into P8 So Zilla definitely
has too.
fighting right now, and finally just overtaken Azza, who actually is fighting back with the better traction here.
These two have had a few battles in this race, so it's been good to watch, and they're carrying on
Goes for
again.
the switcheroo, trying to go around the outside. Go Azza, mate. It seems to be on the
It's gonna be
dirty
close,
stuff.
but I'm not sure.
He's still going for it,
with the
though.
camera work. Here we go. Oh, this is pretty good.
These two have
guess
been
who's-
clean all race.
Oh no, it's been fantastic. But look behind them. Look who's licking his lips behind them. Watching this on the 5-lap younger mediums. We've got Freed Slim Shady, the real Slim Shady, right behind him, catching up.
I think they actually were only thinking about their fight, actually. So I'd like to mention, by the way, Zilla has drained his whole battery. So we'll be struggling in the closing laps with Azza, who has got Free Slim Shady's got pretty much a full tank of battery, and Azza with 60%. As we, another AlphaTauri yellow flag seems to be Schmuck. So Schmuck and C Marino seem to be just not liking this place today. But yeah,
They're giving the flag marshals their money's worth. You got to give them credit.
Nukalut is closing down, as like to just mention your boy Cappy and Belladat also fighting. Oh, and Cappy goes a bit wide there again.
We just caught Snoop have a massive back end slide coming through turn 15. Oh, sorry, turn 14. And
he's lost all that time. He's just gained down. I just don't think the strategy really worked for him today. I think just the medium hard seems to be, the medium hard seems to be the fastest strat. You just see the track being a lot warmer. That the hards just play into it, and Snooper Loop has been quick today. Oh, it's Free Slim Shady and Azza. There was a bit of contact, I'm pretty sure, because I saw them going a bit slow.
Yeah, and that's given Zilla a bit of a reprieve up in front. He'll need a bit more than that, of course, to cover his penalty, but it looks like that will not work out for him. But yeah, that's given a little bit of contact between the two of them is giving a little bit of room to the rest of them.
Siphon in P4, yeah.
That's given Nico a free podium.
Nico, yeah, so if Nico doesn't make a mistake, he will be going into a free podium. So yes, Nico has actually, for a good recovery after 2 spins, gone back into P3. But yeah, Kufu Cowboy, as I like to mention, by the way, absolutely chasing down Skipper, who hasn't got that much ERS. So if with 5 laps remaining, if my math is right, hopefully it is, there will be a lot of action heading to these 5 final laps. But a lot of people are spread out. So the only action we've got at the moment is probably battle for P8 and battle for P6, pretty much. If I've missed one, please tell us in the chat. But
absolutely. But yeah, this race is winding down somewhat calmly, but it's intense because it's everyone. There's not so much overtaking going on, but everybody is just pushing as hard as they can to try and gain a 10th on the car ahead or gain a little bit on the car behind. But again, they're all pushing each other so hard, but they're not able to get closer or further away from each other. It's been one of those ones there. But Snooper's gained a few tenths on this lap, but again, at this moment, it's not going to look like enough. And with the amount of time he's going to have on those tyres by the end of the race, it's looking fairly futile for him at the minute, unless we see a last-minute safety car or a mistake from Zvit. But again, if he just knuckles down, he'll have it kept.
Yeah. I like to mention, by the way, races without safety cars, they're very, rewarding to the driver, in my honest opinion. I know all of us would want to see a late safety car, everyone sprint to the finish, and I guess a few drivers would want that. As I like to mention, by the way, Kufu Cowboy, all over the rear of Skipper, looks to be
dive bomb on the cards
overtaking,
here.
pulls out to the left. Will he get the job done before the corner? Skipper still trying to fight it. Oh, they nearly make a bit of contact there, but lovely driving between these two drivers here. And Kufu Cowboy, our championship leader, moves up into P6, which is pretty much where he'll probably stay for the rest of the race. But a very nice overtake there later on the brakes. That was very nice there, but hopefully Skipper can try and answer that back on the back straight. He seems to be staying very closely to the rear of Kufu Cowboy, but Kufu just looks very much more comfortable in that car.
The other question mark we have as well is Kufu's fuel light has been on for the best part of 10 laps now, if our reports from the pit stage are correct. So, where is he going as far as fuel consumption? Is he going to be able to make it? Again, we won't know until we see it happen. Obviously, he doesn't seem to be holding back now, so I know he must still have a fair bit left as he's able to defend his position in the into turn 12. If I can get my words right. So, it's looking okay, just about okay. Again, at the minute, he is still going to lose the championship lead and, in fact, P2. So, not the race he would have been looking for. much can be said for quite a few other people in the field tonight as well. Right now, again, Svit looking to comfortably take 2 wins in a row, if I'm not mistaken, as well as the championship lead that goes with it. So, yeah, he's in the box seat right now. He'll be happy. Only a few more laps to go now, or 4 to go now, or 3.5 if you want to be pedantic. Snoopers closed the gap down to just shy of 4 seconds, but that's not going to be enough to pose a challenge at the end of the race. So, yeah, right now, just watch yourself and bring your own. That's what it's looking like.
It seems to be that there will be no safety cars for the remaining of the race, so this will be pretty much our finishing positions, unless some other drivers want to fight back. I'd like to mention, by the way, the battle for P8 is still firing up. Freeslim Shady has overtaken Azza. It seems to be they drained pretty much half of his battery, as now back down to 40%, but now closing in on Zilla in the Haas in their home race, so hoping to take home a little bit more points than 8th. But yeah, Freeslim Shady with the better tyre combat. Oh, Zilla goes a little bit wide there, trying to shape himself up. But yeah, Freeslim Shady now, the gap is down to about 5 tenths, as it also looks to be dropping out of the DRS there. And it seems to have been like, yes, he has. Now Freeslim Shady trying to shape up an overtake on Zilla here. Doesn't seem to be using any of his battery, but Zilla is using pretty much all of it. Now down to 20%. Freeslim Shady with more battery. Doesn't look to be trying to make an overtake, as only about 4 tenths back here, and a little bit tricky to make an overtake. Just see here later on it breaks there into that corner there. Zilla does get the better exit though, but these two need to try and pull further away if they don't want Azza to come and join the fight.
Of course, right now as well, Slim Shady, he doesn't need to take the position on Zilla. He will get it by virtue of Zilla's penalty. So if he wants to settle down, as long as Azza is beyond arm's reach away, he can happily just cruise around behind Zilla and take the position. Whether or not he chooses to do that, we'll wait to see. And I mean, I hope not. I want to see a last lap scrap between these 2 or 3. But again, it's whether you choose risk over reward. There's not much reward for it. And yeah, whatever happens. Have a quick P6 again. Yeah, everything's settled down between this couple as well. Fufu's just pulled out just over DRS range's gap. So as long as he keeps that pace up for the next 3 laps, he'll be good as gold.
You can see that Snoop is also pushing massively at the moment, but just not good enough to get near Svit at all, who's just driven faultlessly today. He has had the pace all day. Same as Snoop. Hats off to Snoop and Loop as well, who seems to be just using all that battery at the moment. But yeah, the strategy just didn't work out for him like he thought it would today. So still, those two, we've got a yellow flag. It seems to be the Alpha Romeo.
Looks like Schmaku's had yet another spin round.
And they look to be now getting blue flagged, actually.
Yep, because Svit is right on them now, so hopefully they'll clear out of his way, let him bring her own if he can. And of course, the gap between Svit and Snoop has stabilised a bit. We've got a couple of tenths in the last couple of laps, so it looks like at this point, Snoop's tyres are 11 laps old, so we're pretty much at the crossover point. Well, not even at the crossover point, we're at the point where we saw people like Skipper and Conrad, Conrad and Azza, if I can remember right, when they would jump in to get rid of their mediums earlier on in the race. So, yeah, it's looking like the medium-hard strategy has been the way to go.
I'd just like to mention, by the way, the battle for P8 as well, Freeslim Shady has overtaken
I missed that.
Zilla. We did actually miss that, which is annoying, but I guess it must have been a very clean overtake, because Zilla seems to have just kept his gap that he was with Freeslim Shady. Yeah, Azza also, Skipper is given a 3-second time penalty. Doesn't seem to be affecting him one bit at all, but if he was to try and overtake Khufu, that would affect him.
So it looks to be breathe easy now,
Yeah. And now with only 2 laps remaining, there's not many battles going on at the moment. No one within the 1-second margin. The closest battle at the moment would be Zilla and Freeslim Shady. But Freeslim Shady, with the tyre advantage, seems to just be pulling away.
Yeah, look at that. He's just about out of DRS range now. So it looks like in the case of this battle, a hard-medium battle, tyre choices worked.
So I guess if you're in the higher divisions, I guess you must be looking right now to see which tyre strat would work today.
That's right, absolutely.
Seems to be that the harder medium seems to be the faster compound on this faster strat around here.
Absolutely, and I mean, it all depends on your driving style, I reckon. Because if you're more aggressive with your tyres, again, it's all going to change what you're going to choose with, what you're going to choose to go with. But certainly one thing that we can take home from this is our top 3 in quali and top 3 in the race. So generally, if your pace is there, in quali, you'll have it for the race as well. And okay, but of course that's all by virtue of no safety car too. This has been purely a measure of pace throughout most of the race, apart from the odd spin here and there. Cough, cough, Nico. He'll be.
Oh, don't be doing Nico like that.
Oh no, I don't want to. I know he'll already be spewing with himself over it, but regardless, it's still a good result, a podium that'll do good for his title hopes, because I believe, if I remember rightly, he was about 7th or 8th in the title chase. This could boost him up a couple of spots. We'll wait and see when Bassink does all the maths, and he'll be set up well. Last late charge for the championship by Nico, because he was up there at Suzuka as well. He won the sprint race too, so he's turned on the form.
Yeah, just like I mentioned, by the way, Azza is massively pushing at the moment. Or Snooper Loop as well is pushing the track at Svit. But now heading on to the last lap, by the way, Azza is now to the 1 second margin. So I think he caught Zilla napping there a bit.
If he wants to.
He's just trying to get home, but I don't know how his tyres looking at the moment. But now with Zilla with the ERS advantage,
yeah, coming through the. Let's go to our leader now as we see Svit come around the final corner. He's going to bring home his 2nd win in a row, and the championship lead will go with it. So congratulations to Svit.
Awesome job from Svit today. Lovely job from him. So Snooper Loop also takes on P2 as well. So awesome job, and he takes home the win at the Circuit of the Americas. So awesome job, Svit. Congrats, man. Awesome drive for Alfa Romeo. Much needed points. So awesome drive today. And Nico also on P3, Siphon on P4. So lovely drive from the from the top 4 there. And also like to mention Conrad with the awesome strategy calls today. Takes on P5 in the Alpine. Kufu Cowboy loses his championship lead today. He will be trying to look back at this race to see what he has done wrong. But lovely job there from everyone today. Free Slim Shady takes on P8. Zilla takes home P9, but converted back to P10. Don't know if that penalty was given legitly, but as it stands, Azza will be in P9. So a lovely job from the top 10 guys. And then the rest were just waiting on the 2 Alfa Romeos, Cappy and Belladat. Who has spun
Belladat's going around on the last lap, and Cappy's going to nab P11 just like that.
It's not points, but it's bragging rights, and that's what matters.
That's right. That's what they were fighting over. They came out of the pits together, remember? And so Belladat's, what I'll be telling his fellow McLaren stablemates is how those softs felt. And by the looks of it, not that great on the last lap. But
so we're just waiting on the McLaren and the 2 Alfa Romeos
here we go.
The Marino seems to end off, and just doing a few donuts for us.
Yep.
Not a great race for the Alfa Romeo guys today. They won't be looking forward to that one, so they must be trying to go back and try. What was that?
Still going.
Yeah, I was so
fireworks.
confused.
Monday night fireworks.
He feels like he's won the championship. Good on him.
Yeah, he's kept the flag marshals busy today. As a schmuck. There we go.
But yeah, that's a wrap. Academy, Circuit of the Americas. So now we'll be heading on to the interviews to ask everyone how their races went. But thank you everyone who just wanted to watch the race. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I think we've got about 50 viewers tonight. So thank you everyone for the viewership tonight. So yeah, we will be interviewing probably our race leader to first, see how he felt that race went, and he'll probably be very happy. So just wait, we'll see if he is available at the moment.
Yep, let's have a quick look at the final standings as well after this one.
Yep, yes he is. All right. So do you want me to bring him in, Nick? You can talk to him.
Yeah, no worries. Bring him in. We'll have a talk to our new race winner and championship leader.
So Svit, you have taken over the championship lead for Academy. Awesome drive today, mate. You drove faultlessly. I cannot say anything bad that you drove today. So how would you think your race went for you?
To be honest, that was just luck. I got lucky with out of the pit stop bit. Something must happen to Snoop, as he had like 6-second gap, so he must have had a loose rear end or something during the pit stop period. And I got lucky with Nico having his spins at the start, or else I don't think I would have got the win, to be honest.
So yeah, man, you did. I wouldn't use the word lucky, man. Like, you drove awesome today. So yeah,
the thing is, You didn't make any mistakes. That's the main thing. You just kept it solid for all 28 of those laps, and that's keeping it like a metronome. That's what brought it home for you. So yeah, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, that strategy was insane. That's going to be something for the higher division boys now to look for.
Yeah, no penalties today, man. You kept it clean. Like not many other people did. A few people did spin, and like you said beforehand, Snoopalip did actually have a bit of a loose rear. He was catching you a bit. And we were a bit like we could get a very entertaining finish to this USA Grand Prix, but seems to be that you just outpaced him today. So yeah,
save my ERS the final like 5 laps just in case he did catch me.
Yeah, and he was on the alternate strat, but you still drove awesome today, and there's nothing I could fault out of it. So you want to go home. You've taken the lead of the championship, and Snoopalip follows closely behind. So you and him will be with a 7-point lead heading into the final race, and you probably will be the favourite to take home the championship. So will the nerves be getting to you?
How much did Kufu get? Wait.
Kufu came P6, so he has lost the lead of the championship.
Yep, he grabbed 8 points from that. So I believe if my memory of math serves me right, the gap to you two between you two will be either 11 or 13 points. I can't quite remember for sure.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah.
Well, Mexico is one of my favorite tracks, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to ending the season on 2 of my favorite tracks.
So yeah, if you take home the championship, you will be promoted to the novice division. So yeah, like to say, by the way, best of luck for next week. We hope to probably see you up the top step. But yeah, enjoy Mexico. Hope the nerves don't get to you. So yeah, just take it easy tonight.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one.
You too.
So that is our championship leader. He looks to be pretty comfortable after today's Grand Prix. Do you want to bring in Snoopalip?
I reckon we should bring in Snoop, our new P2 man. Well, I say new P2 man. He was already there, just tied with Zvit. Here we go. Here we have him now. How are you, Snoop? Congrats on the P2.
Hey, fellas. Yeah, cheers.
So yeah, you have kept P2 in the standings right now. You are now only 7 points behind Zvit heading into the final race of Mexico next week. So how do you feel that tonight's pace went? In my honest opinion, from my perspective, you drove well, but seems to be that the strategy wasn't on your side today. You can see that we were much quicker on those hards, but then he was on the mediums. But yeah, once he got those hards on, he was a little bit quicker than you.
Yeah, he's just a really good driver. I think a lot of credit's got to go to him for just his outright pace on those hards. He keeps them fresh and he keeps them going, and that ultimately is what kept him in. I was stuck behind him for a bit when I was on my hards, and I thought it was going to help me chew up his mediums a bit and him have to go early, but he managed to make it work on the hards. There was a couple little issues with him lagging in front of me, and I had to back off a couple times, but I don't think I'm not sure how it would have changed the race, but ultimately he was just outright quicker than me today, and he deserves the win.
Yeah, and that's, in my honest opinion, with that honest review from yourself, you could tell you're a very humble driver in that you didn't think you were faster, and that's like, but your racecraft could have beaten him as well. But yeah, we did catch, you were held up a bit during the pit stop phases when you're trying to, I think it was overcut Svit, but you were held up a bit by the, if I'm not mistaken, it was Skipper or Siphon. But yeah, I think you would have only come out about 3-second gap, and you probably still wouldn't have caught him, but still today, man, you drove awesomely, and there's nothing. You did get a penalty towards the end, so there was a few things you probably could look back on, but yeah, in my honest opinion, you drove well today and deserved that P2, and now kept P2 in the standings. And if I'm not mistaken, where did your teammate score? 11th today, right?
Yeah, I think he got unlucky with some contact on his front wing. He deserved better than that today to be in the points, Cappy. He's just been so unlucky all season. He puts in the work. He wants to be a good driver, and sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, unfortunately, he just seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, which sucks for him. So we've got one more race to correct that. I know he's got a big result in him, so I'm looking forward to Mexico. I think it'll suit him, and we'll be able to go and have a crack together. Hopefully, get some double points there for the Ferraris.
Yeah, and I did make a mistake today. I'm pretty sure it was when he spun heading into turn 19. He must have just gotten on the dirty side. So yeah, Cappy being one of my mates, I definitely know that he's a fast guy, and with the transition from controller to wheel, he's doing an awesome job. But yeah, his time will come. He is driving awesomely, so you got to give him time, and yeah, he will develop something awesome,
Yeah.
and I've seen it before. But yeah, did get unlucky today. Him and Bella that made a little bit of contact in the turn one. I think that may have been where the front wing damage came from. Yeah, nothing that pretty much he just drove his heart out today, and yeah, very unfortunate. He only ended up P11, but it's P11 and just off the brisk of points, so there's nothing I could really say bad about that. But yeah,
Nah, definitely a drive worthy of some points.
you kept P2 in the standings at the moment, so yeah, the championship battle between you and Svit heading into the final round of Mexico will be awesome to see. So
Yeah,
best of
looking
luck,
forward to
man.
it.
And Nick, have you got any final comments you would like to add?
I don't know. I don't think so. Actually, you've rattled off all the ones I was going to go for. So again, congrats on the P2. You're right in there in the title fight. It's still a 3-horse race going into the final round. In fact, there may be a couple more. I can't unless I've got my maths wrong. But yeah, I'd say to everyone, stay tuned for 8 p.m. next Monday night because it's going to be some fireworks.
Yeah, it should be good. Kufu, he's awesome as well. So, if it's a 3-horse, like you said with the maths, I'm not too sure either. But if it's me, Kufu, and Zvit, it's gonna be a bit of a fiesta at Mexico, I'd imagine.
That's right. So, collect yourself, get sweaty on that time trial because it's going to get hectic. But
yeah, that's it for sure. Yeah,
but for now, collect your silverware, put it up on the mantelpiece, and I say have a good night's sleep.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Yep, looking forward to it. Cheers.
No worries. Have a good night.
All right, cheers.
Is there anyone else you would like to talk to tonight? Maybe we have got Kufu Cowboy, but would you like to talk to, as I think the only person I can actually see would be, do you want to talk to Cappy?
I'm not sure. I'll let you take the pick on that one, I reckon.
I think I want to talk to Kufu Cowboy. I want to see what happened tonight. All right, bring him in.
Bring him in.
Yep. So Kufu, not the race you were looking for tonight. You have lost the lead of the Drivers' Championship, but still would... How did you feel tonight's race went with P6? Not the worst result you could get, but still less points than you would have wanted. And yeah, so very unfortunate for you today, Kufu.
Yeah, it wasn't the best start. There was a little collision at the start with the McLarens and the Alpines trying to get through. And so, yeah, lost places there. And then Schmuck had a braking issue and he missed his brake point. So I went back, I lost another position there. Just wasn't my race.
Would you say it could have just been one of those cases where the circuit didn't agree with you? Because I know for me, Circuit of the Americas can certainly be one of those circuits where it's just sometimes it's just not made for you. I don't know, but I don't know. It's just, how was it as far as just trying to get pace throughout quali and the race itself?
Quali, like everyone above me, geez, they are fast. Like, I think it was a second quicker at the top there by Nico. Like, oh my God, if he's still in this division next season, there's no hope for anyone.
Absolutely. His pace was unreal, wasn't he? He just grabbed the fastest lap in the race and grabbed quali so comfortably. It's just, I don't know, he was unreal, wasn't he? So, but regardless, I mean, you put on pretty good pace, even with that, you gained a fair few spots after the pit stop phase. So yeah, I mean, I'd say, you've done pretty well tonight and you're still well and truly in it for the title fight, of course. So I'd say bring it your all for next week, hey?
Yep. So hopefully someone will take out Snoop and VK for me and give me the championship.
Do them dirty like that. No, mate, surely.
You've got to win it on track, mate.
Surely.
Yeah. It's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't get a 2017 Mexico all over again. But
you'll be right. It's a Mercedes track.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, man. Very unfortunate that you did lose the lead today. But I could just see that you were struggling a bit. I think it was on the hards. You could not get past, if I'm not mistaken. It was Skipper. But yeah, once you got on those mediums, you were much more comfortable in the car. I could see you were stretching out that gap a little bit more, but yeah, still only P6, and you can see that you weren't on the best strat today. But still, man, we've got next week, and we always look forward, and yeah, just take home what happened today, and we'll try work better on it. But yeah, take it easy, man, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else you would like to talk to today?
Oh, I reckon it's bedtime. To be honest, it's it's been a busy weekend and it's looking like a busy week, especially with all the racing we've got coming up over the next 3 days. But yeah, that's why it's been again another great solid night of racing and a lot of form setting for the last race. Again, Zvit on a roll right now, 2 wins in a row, and he's staring down the barrel of the championship next weekend. Not next weekend, next Monday. And so yeah, and of course the other 2 in the race just jumping in, doing what they can as well. So yeah, I'm dead excited. And yeah, that's about it. What do you reckon?
No, you've pretty much worded pretty much what I was going to say. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We hope to see you tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday for everything. And yeah, thanks for everything. And we will see you probably tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, yeah, that's a goodbye from us. Hope you had a great night. We hope to see you again soon. Take care, everybody.